Hi, welcome to another talk. And this time we're going to do a talk on the importance, but of communication, really, and communicating important feelings. Um, so I was guided to give, the topic was given to me on communication, is what I heard earlier today. And then I lost it, and I asked again for what that topic was, and clearly, it was communication. So I think what was even more funny about the topic coming to me, and then I'll get into it, was that I have this whole setup that I do, and then I've been getting into the habit of actually consulting my cards, and so part of my setup is that I prop my camera on top of my tarot deck cards, and the last one that remained that wasn't used of my tarot boxes was Archangel Gabriel. And Archangel Gabriel is the archangel of communication. He's the archangel of messages, divine messages. The voice of God is another name for Archangel Gabriel, who I work with a lot. And so I drew out some cards just to get pretty much a clear sense exactly what they want me to talk about. And Archangel Gabriel is definitely in the house. Thank you. And so, first of all, this week is the beginning of Mercury retrograde. Actually, tomorrow, the 28th. Tonight is the 27th. So, as we're approaching Mercury retrograde, which is also the planet of communication, technology, healing, also in some aspects, we have, and it's going into, well, we're in the sign of Taurus, which is all about home, money, abundance, project, our love, beauty. And Venus is making its way into Taurus soon by Friday. It's all about having within our heart space, so to speak, letting out from also our gut exactly what we've had in our mind, what we've been thinking about, what we've been planning, not to actually make it actualize during Mercury retrograde, but actually start giving birth to it, meaning that if you've been weighing in your mind, in your heart, in your spirit, I can't believe this is turning out to be like a actual tarot reading. Good one, guys. If you've been holding that in the seat of your third chakra, which is your also one of your communication chakras besides your sixth chakra, if you've been holding that and you've been wanting to say something to somebody for the very longest time, it's time, especially about, like, let's say a promotion or a raise, and while Mercury is in retrograde, it's a great time to do this as well during this retrograde. It's time to speak up. It's time to say something about that. If you've been thinking about relocating, and if you just kind of been meandering, playing with those thoughts with yourself, it's time to really actually actualize it. So, what I mean by that is that, and this is where we get into importance. It's when we all have something important to say. We usually, most of us humans, we usually strike a conversation and we say what's on our minds, or we do what we have to do. Like, we have to go to the bathroom, we go to the bathroom, right? If we're hungry, and we go to the store, right? So, important matters, immediate important matters are very evident. But what about the ones that aren't evident? Those important things like our feelings, those important things like our desires, the things that hold the key to our happiness, so to speak, our real happiness, our fulfillment, sense of purpose in our life, sense of being in the moment. We've been talking a lot about being in the moment. So it's time to really, get to that source and really unveil it and also bring it to light. Um, so we have to look at subtle importance. And actually redefine importance in the next couple of weeks. And I believe that's one of the highlight features of this Mercury in retrograde is a lot of us will come to that place of really reevaluating, which is perfect under Mercury in retrograde, of our importance, what we consider importance, or important to us. So really dig deep into that in the next couple of weeks, starting now. But again, what do we value as important? How much important is important to us? And with that, we get into the topic also of communication. So in order to really get to the crux of what we see as important and what we define as value, we are getting into a level of communication with ourselves. So that method of communication, what is it to you? Do you usually get to that point of what's important to you, or anything in your life that you start communicating with yourself first and others? How long does it take you to really get to that bridge? Do you take a stroll down a different path, go smell the roses for a little while and then get to the bridge? Or do you get to the bridge, straight to the point, straight to source, straight to yourself, your real self, not the one that, is aspiring to be, or it's, playing a certain role in life? In order to do that, you really need to get real with yourself and you need to get honest. And communication, is so valuable at that point that in the practice of doing that with yourself, and you start actually getting to the source, what you're doing is you're practicing also with, you're practicing with yourself so you can practice with the world, right? There's a traditional belief or mind pattern of in most American Indian cultures and other indigenous cultures is that we, and spiritual-based systems out there, what we create within our minds and our heart is what we create in reality. So imagine if you're practicing about getting, to the level of importance, the true source within yourself more and more. Imagine what you're doing in order to get what you need and manifest what you need out in the world. So it becomes stronger and stronger. And in order to do that, we have to, at times, especially those who don't practice, we have to really get to those roadblocks that we have within ourselves. Personal truths, lies we tell ourselves, or maybe that blind spot that we don't know we have, and we have to look for it. Also, there has to be a level of acceptance of the fears that we have in order of doing those things. So when we have, let's say, a journey like we have right now up ahead, where this week has started very intensely, and I promise you guys it will get a lot easier in the next coming weeks, but especially if we're doing the work. And we're not sure what we're walking into, or where our sense of purpose, where our destiny lies, apprehension, sense of fear of the mystery of what will become, what will happen to us. Did we make the right choices? Did we not make the right choice? Not trusting yourself, not trusting others. You have to surrender it. You have to accept the fact that what's rising is fear, and its false expectations appearing real, or face every Another acronym is FACE, everything, and recover. um, when we start thinking like that and we face our fears and we start letting go actually of or start moving those blocks, let's say, and those blocks start to move and they start to be removed, and so it becomes part of our daily practice, right? And then we allow ourselves in that space not to absorb any more fear, but to become vulnerable. So when the blocks lift, we surrender, then we become vulnerable, or we should become vulnerable and be comfortable in being vulnerable with ourselves. And trust me, there's a lot of people that can't do that. You're probably saying in your head, "Oh, I know how to do that." I thought myself I did also a long time ago, and just wasn't true. It takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of crying. It takes a lot of learning over and over again, kind of peeling the onion, so to speak, the layers of our consciousness, of our thoughts and what we believe, to really get to the source of who we really are, or the reality of who we are. And sometimes that also means that we have to, do like this balancing game, like a check system. What's good, what's bad, making lists. What's right, what's wrong. What are you seeing really, and what you're not. And that all requires honesty. It requires honesty of your heart, honesty of the importance of the matter to you. How important it is to really get down deep with and real with yourself, and unblocking those blocks that you have, and actually telling yourself the truth. You lie to yourself too much, or you spend too much money because you really want to avoid the fact that you can save money. And those are just examples. So, communication with self, communication with your values, communication then becomes real when you start doing it with other people. So imagine if you were doing it with yourself and practicing it with yourself more and more, especially as new things arise, especially under this new Mercury retrograde, and we also have a new moon coming up. Let's start thinking about that. Let's prepare ourselves mentally, spiritually, and then the physical part. Also the physical part, they're just interjected that into what I was thinking. I was going to go a different path. Is that when you look at yourself in front of the mirror, especially naked, if you have a full-length mirror, or when you look at yourself as well, naked, and I encourage all of you to do this, look at your body. Cherish your body. Be honest with your body. Be honest with yourself about the appearance of your body. Be honest with the fact that, okay, I'm a little overweight, but this is my body. It's a beautiful body. Encourage yourself not to really color the real look of your body, but to really look at it like for what it is, truthfully. Like I have curves, and I have a little extra curves because of winter, and I know I like to eat a lot, but I have a beautiful body. I'm hairy all over, but I have a beautiful body. Sometimes I wish I have a woman's body, but I know I am still a woman inside of a man's body, and I have come to peace with that. But that's the reality of my life. What's the reality of your life, of your body, of your physical appearance? When we start doing work like that, especially if we're brushing our teeth in the morning and we're looking at ourselves and we actually catch our gaze and we look at our eyes, and and we have the ability to smile at ourselves, or at least to look at ourselves and kind of look into our eyes and through our eyes, that is a powerful, powerful exercise of really making your life a reality. And also the more we practice that, it's the ending of feeling alone and of any other feelings of abandonment, of low self-esteem and self-worth where there was self-esteem, self-worth can become very empowering. So if anyone has any questions, I am going to end it at that. Please ask them, put them in the comments area. I'll give you a minute or so to think about it. If not, I'm going to end this talk. Anything that was not clear to you, anything you want to speak about on this topic or the one from yesterday. And by the way, thank you for liking and sharing my talks. I think there's also a subscribe button now at the top. I follow Deepak Chopra, and whenever I am watching his, I think I hit subscribe one time and I get his alerts, the notifications for his feeds. So that's pretty cool. So if you want to be alerted also to these talks, just hit subscribe at the top. Also, you have the freedom of giving me comments after this video is posted in the comments area below, or if you want to do it anonymously, send them to my message box on Facebook or on YouTube, where I'm also posting these. So nobody's speaking up. So what I'm going to say is good night. Thank you for listening. Thank you for liking and sharing these talks. And I do respond to any comments and questions on a regular basis. Just want to let you know that in case you feel like you don't want to, but you do want to communicate. Have a great night and a good tomorrow. Co-create your life in right relations. Namaste, Dainoti, and Lakesh.